Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? I already know what it is. It's your favorite Blurred Click, ready to talk blurred shit. It's a Saturday. Happy Mother's Day weekend to the mothers out there. And good happy Mother's Day to everybody who got a mother. And shout out to those who are missing their mothers. It's a big deal, man. So I hope you get a chance to at least reflect on motherhood and how that all goes. Today, going to be a little different. Yes, we already know. We know what you got on your mind, folks, because we know who you is. Yes, you sitting there still railing on whether or not you was feeling the Thunderbolts, because I know some of y'all done seen it by now. Some of y'all are still wondering what's going on in The Last of Us. Huh? Is it violent enough for you? Ew. Is it enough clickers for you? Ew. Some of y'all want to know what's going on in Gorman with the world of Andor and all this spy shit going all over the place. All this manipulation and all these other things that they doing in Star Wars that they ain't really did before. Rape? I ain't never seen that in Star Wars. But since we had a little bit of time today to kind of go into some things that we didn't have a chance to do before, we thought it would be a good opportunity for us to share some of the moments we had with some of the folks that have been in some of the projects we like, such as, even though it was a few weeks ago that we had the finale, we did get to see the Daredevil debut of Born Again on Disney Plus. And amongst that Daredevil show, there was a man by the name of Jeremy Isaiah Earl, who actually played a pretty significant role as he was Cole North. Officer Cole North, that is, out of Chi-Town. And we actually had a chance to sit down and interview him not once, but twice. Once before the finale, and then again after the finale. So, sit tight, folks. Go ahead and comment in the comment section. We'll be watching right along with you as well. We may not put the bumps up, but we still watching. And we would definitely want to address all of these things and get to know Mr. Jeremiah Isaiah Earl. As you will watch the interview, you'll learn that myself and Yaz may have given him a couple extra nicknames. We also learned about his real life experience with police duties and how it feels to juggle being an actual police officer while at the same time being a well-known actor, and the trials and sometimes funny situations then that can bring about. So that'll all be discussed on our A block, and then we'll go ahead and come back on the B block and talk after the first interview, when we can actually see what he felt when the finale aired. And for those of y'all who haven't already seen the show, you know that his character goes through some things, all of which we will discuss in this interview. So sit on back, strap on in, and join a friend if you got them. Let's go ahead and get into the new Blurred Order, introducing none other than Mr. Jeremy Isaiah Earl, who will be playing the role of Officer Cole North in Daredevil season Born Again. Let's get to it, everybody. Oh, appreciate you for pulling out. Don't go nowhere. Let's watch this interview. We spent a lot of time doing it, so we hope you enjoy it. Tell them who it is and what kind of podcast this is. Thugnificent.
This is Thugnificent, telling everybody to tune in to New Blurred Order, my nigga. The best podcast on the planet Earth, nigga.
All right, I ain't gonna lie. Look, stick with us through this interview right here, because the Wi-Fi don't Wi-Fi the whole time. All right, so I'm not sure what side of town he was on at the time. Might have been some cloud cover, but just stick through it. I promise it'll be worth it. And then pull up for the second half too, because it's real dope. Chew. Hey, good day, everybody. You know what it is. It's your favorite blurred friends talking blurred stuff. And yes, I know if you are alive, you have been definitely in tune to the Marvel Daredevil series, which is on Disney Plus right now. If you ain't watching it, what is wrong with you? Get on out there and check that thing out. And if you do, you may notice that there is this cop guy on there who actually acts really good and is holding down the parts of Mr. Officer North. And he actually maybe joined Speak about what it's like to be an actual comic book character. Hallelujah. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get this thing started. You already know who we are. Let's put you on to none other than the one and only Mr. Jeremy Isaiah Earl. This man got a lot of Bible names. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's do
it. Listen up. New Blurred. Oh, hold on. Can I do that again? Hey, check out New Blurred Order. They're a whole vibe. It's the newest thing on the. Sorry, let me try that again. I'm so sorry. Hey, shout out to New Blurred Order. They're a whole vibe. The funniest people, the friendliest people, and also the nerdiest people you ever see. And they're black. Check them out. Listen up. New Blurred. Oh, hold on. Can I do that again? Hey, check.
Cannot do it again, Nathan. We only gave you once, so don't mess it up. As I said before, the one and only Daredevil is approaching its season finale here pretty soon, and we couldn't help but notice that there was some very, very good acting afoot. And one Mr. Jeremy Earl did come to our attention as somebody who lit up the screen playing Mr. Cole, and we just were wondering if he was willing to talk to us about it, and guess what? He obliged. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, there's none other than Mr. Jeremy Earl himself. What's going on, sir?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, friend. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just real quick, just want to check on you, sir. How's everything in your world? Everything good?
Oh, man, everything's good, man. I'm blessed and just living and taking care of kids, Good old regular life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you still got to do the regular stuff, I suppose. But yeah, man. Well, listen, speaking of regular, before we get into it, I just want to say it's really refreshing to see you bring this character to life. As I even saw, if I can be honest, your post where you like finally made it to the MCU. So it seems like it's something that's really, really an accomplishment for you. But I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed slightly, if I can start this off in a manner, just slightly disappointed. Because when I saw that you were playing this gentleman, I thought we might see the Mr. T Mohawk, but evidently they didn't want to give you the Mr. T Mohawk, Mr. Jeremy. So could you tell fans out there why you averted the Mr. T Mohawk that they also desired, sir?
I'm not sure if that was the desire or not, but put it this way: certain things work great for the comics, and maybe not so great, when you're live action, But I know that the haircut and the chin strap was iconic for Cold North, so I tried with the goatee and the little beard and let it happen.
These just jokes, man. Just jokes. Well, listen, you do the part very well, and one of the things that I think I like the most about what it is that you bring to this role is you are playing a police officer, if I'm not mistaken, right? You're actually playing a police officer. Yeah. I mean, I actually have some footage of you here, what appears to be directing, and come to our attention. You actually have police experience in real life. Like, this is something that you've done before. You're not foreign with regard to the concepts of being a police, right? So
that's what I'm looking at the
retired SWAT operator.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, which is funny because Cold North in the comic is also from Chicago. However, I wasn't a Chicago police officer. I was with the city of Markham, which is south suburbs, and I belong to the SURB team, which is a South Suburban Rapid Response Team, which is SWAT, but for multiple communities and surrounding. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not communities, but it's oh my God. That's right, exactly. Right, yeah. It's a suburban SWAT team, but it's made up of all the different municipalities. That's what I was trying to say. Municipalities. I'm trying to sound super legit, right? You know what I mean?
Well, you're doing a good job.
Try not to make my my PO people out there trying to make it proud. But no, yeah, it's funny. I was acting first. I was an actor first for many years. I started when I was 13, and just through the years of Chicago and going up through just through life, I was just doing commercials and stuff like that. And I started having kids, so it's like, you got to get a job, and I got lucky enough to be able to join the Markham Police Department, and through them got lucky enough to make it to the SWAT team, and then end up retiring. Got hurt and retired, but it helps because it gives me this. It's just kind of a knowledge of how to move in certain instances. And then I want to make a quick correction. That wasn't me necessarily directing. I would never. That's the director Justin and Aaron for that episode. That was me basically trying to lend my expertise as a retired SWAT operator of like trying to make certain movements and make them feel real and everything else, because the production itself, they're very much about trying to, even though it's in the world of superheroes, trying to make it as real as possible. And the Daredevil landscape is like very much so like we're down here ground level with like real problems and real stuff. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay, one follow up real quick. Then Yaz, I believe has a question for you. So in this incident, when you're not directing, all right, just for the record, sorry, Kevin Feige, didn't mean to throw that off. But yeah, just curious. I mean, you look really animated. You look like you really have experience with a scene like this. Do you like channel real live events that have happened and kind of like use that to kind of make what's fiction a little bit more realistic?
I mean, well, I try to just take, when shout out to Chicago Police Academy, that's the academy I came through. And, when you go through academy, you go through this training and stuff gets beaten in your head, you know what I mean? And certain movements and stuff get beaten in your head. So you have no choice but to, in this situation, when I'm on screen, I just kind of, that's my muscle memory. It just does that. That's how you move with the rifle. That's how you change weapons. Is just how you do it. So it helps because then of course directors and writers, they like to see that kind of stuff, and that's what prompted me to start from the post you guys put up. When I started teaching a class, I teach SWAT tactics and police tactics to actors and directors and stuff like that, to kind of so they can have a better understanding of when they're shooting these things, because people in general, just especially now, it's not like the 90s and the 80s where like action heroes were just like this, you know what I mean? Nowadays people kind of want that like real, how does it look really, so
Right.
yeah, but I mean, situationally, I don't necessarily think of nothing because it's just already there. It's like oh, okay, I need to move the team here, this is how we do it. And they also have great, on the show, they have they have great people that task force guys, I mean, tech advisors and stunt guys that kind of also have great backgrounds, and they make the thing look amazing that you guys get to see.
Okay, all right, appreciate it. Yes.
So it's nice to meet you, Mr. Earl.
Nice to meet you as well.
My question for you is, obviously you come from being, Chicago SWAT, which is not an easy state to be a police officer, and you transition from being a police officer to now you're acting and teaching how to basically, do the correct movements so that it's looking realistic. What do you think in your career has been your biggest challenges with your transition?
Honestly, well, first, again, I was a Markham police officer, but honestly, the big- the biggest thing is as you're acting and the police at the same time. Of course, I ended up getting a nickname on the streets. They used to call me Officer Hollywood, and then you start to get, and then you're running, no, like legitimately, and then you'll run into this thing where you got people that if they recognize you from something, like I've done a couple of different shows, and if they recognize you, then it becomes the thing of like, oh, you're not the real police. Like you're just trying to like learn a role, and I'm like, no,
Mhm.
no, I'm not gonna take you to jail, buddy. Um,
You're like, this is real, surprise.
right,
These real
it's-
handcuffs. Click, click. That's a real
right,
jail. Click, click.
right. There's no
Real
cameras out
judge.
here, but
That's so
but yeah,
These real
but that was
charges.
right, but that was like the biggest thing is trying to live that kind of, because people have a false understanding of, they especially they think they see you on TV, like, so you're automatically rich or something. They have
Right,
no
right.
idea that it's like, yo, it's it's a job that you have to love to do, acting, because it doesn't necessarily always, net you the best income. So you gotta always do two things. But it's always funny because you're on
Yeah.
TV and at the same time you're on the street trying to give somebody a traffic citation. So
Well, listen, I mean, if I could just interject on that point, listen, that's not something that's a foreign concept. If you've lived in LA before, you can go and see somebody who just had an Academy Award and they'll be serving you at the In-N-Out Burger. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
like, these things happen. I mean, I work in the world of stand-up comedy, and a lot of us, we do actually work real jobs. I mean, not me, but a lot of us do. And they and they have to, supplement that income. It ain't always just what you see on the gram, kids. It's not how it works. But to that point, you did have to audition for this role. And if I'm not mistaken, because I did do a little bit of research, you did actually speak out to your following and tell them, listen, you're wondering what it is that good auditions get you. This is the product of good auditioning. Being able to be in the MCU as a character on one of the biggest promotional marketing chains in Disney Plus that exists. So how did that audition go?
It was because when you're dealing with Marvel, you never know nothing. You don't know anything. You don't know what you're auditioning for. Everything is a false name, and it's like that on purpose. But it's hilarious. So, and I guess that's what, to your point, that's what made it easier as far as, I guess, my audition, because I start pulling from, okay, this scene is this particular situation, like in a squad room. So I basically pulled from what it's like to be in a real squad room, and that's kind of how I played the audition, very real. And it was and I will say, being honest, it was one of my better auditions. Shout out to
you better brag.
yeah, man. But but it was a good one, man.
Let me interrupt you. I wouldn't normally do this, but what do you think made it one of your better auditions? What was popping about that exact audition that you could speak out about?
I think other than where I went to get it done, shout out to Albert and Whisper Films in Burbank, California. That's where I do my auditions. But the thing was that I basically at the top, people always make the mistake of just standing there until they start acting, opposed to as soon as that camera comes on, you're doing something. So I think what it was my conscious thought of okay, I need to find business at the beginning of this scene because I'm not the one talking. Somebody else is talking and getting my attention. So I put a lot of thought in having a sidebar conversation. So when I come to it, you know what I mean? So it just flowed. It was just I was excited looking at it, oh man, this is actually kind of cool. So it's just, knowing what tools to pull out at what time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
That's really cool.
So with that audition, now that you killed it, and it's okay to have a good day, because we know they don't always go like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
You do find yourself.
Even when they do, that doesn't guarantee you the job. You can have a great audition and be sorry.
Yeah, we were looking for somebody shorter,
right. That's simple. Yes,
it can be something just that silly, but yet and still, here we find you on the screen with some of the biggest actors in the game. I mean, listen, you are one of the henchmen for the notorious Kingpin. I grew up reading comics and watching cartoons about this guy, and now you're sharing scenes with them. And also you have Charlie Cox is amongst the folks that you share some scenes with. So, I mean, what's it like when you share some scenes with these actors? I mean, I'm not asking you to spill the tea, but I mean, just talk to us about what it is that you know about or that you've observed in being even colleagues with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Charlie and Vincent, first of all, they're amazing. They're just amazing people to work with, and I couldn't say enough good stuff about them because they're hilarious at the same time.
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
coming into it, my first day in the scene, it was with Vincent. So I'm I remember doing this. I remember telling this to him because I couldn't help myself, right? Because everybody knows Vincent. They think Law and Order, or you think Men in Black. But I'm since we're on the set MCU, I'm hey, he played a Thor-like character in the 80s in Adventures in Babysitting. And I remember that movie because my sister loved it so much, right? So he plays this mechanic. He plays a mechanic that the little girl thinks is Thor. So I'm like,
Yes.
that's what I remember. Like, and then, of course, everybody's like, Full Metal Jacket, and I'm just like, yo, man. Like, and it was like a little part, like 2 scenes, and he laughed about it. It was cool, but no, it was. So it was. I mean, I don't get intimidated per se. You know what I mean, by
That's
actors
awesome.
and stuff like that. I just because it's like, hey, we're all here to do a job, and also, I mean, at the end of the day, I have enough. At least how I feel about myself is like, yo, I can hold my own. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. I've only ever wanted to do anything in my entire life, which is this. So it's not every day you get to be like, I get to live my dream, and so I when I approach it like that, and with that, they just always. Vincent was just really cool. I just asked him one question at the end of our scene. I was like, "Hey, did I give you everything you was asking for, or that you needed?" And he was very positive. I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, it was great." Blah, blah, blah. And from there, everybody's just cool. Like the crew, the cast. It's really like a close knit family kind of situation. When we're shooting, everybody was just amazing, truly. And
So
I'm not just saying that on some Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Oh, everybody's so amazing. No, like no, like everybody was legitimately great because at the beginning of it, it was doing a writer's strike. So like when I got to
right, right, right.
see some of the stuff when I started, the writers were already on strike. So
Oh
you
wow.
just kind of had to operate the way
Mhm.
we operated before they sorted everything out. So with the crew just being just so cohesive and just pushing forward. So it's a great group of people, man. Great group of people, truly.
So you
That's awesome.
saying that when you asked him if you got everything, he was like, yeah, yeah. He wasn't like, I got everything. Like,
Nope, 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 nope,
so,
nope. He was like, Jeremy, what's
Right.
your name? I'm sorry. I do breakdowns every single week on the podcast of the episodes, and all of our viewers love it because it's like I've mastered Vincent. Like I love him. Like he is my ultimate bad guy. Like when I think of bad guy, I think of Kingpin. Like he is
Yeah.
chef's kiss. Like I'm not gonna lie. I want to ask you, when you figured out that you were gonna be on his team, were you a little nervous at the fact that you could possibly die by him?
Oh, I just again, you never know. Like, you get you just get sides. Like as far as for me, like I didn't get a script. You just kind of extra scene as you go, and the directors and stuff gives you, you know, what you do, what you use, and you just kind of hope for the best for your character as you go. Because you can look at the comic and you can try to follow, Cole North in the comic, but again, it's certain liberties that are taken and stuff like that to really tell the story on screen. But yeah, there's always an undertone. I mean, he did remove a guy's head with a door, in the earlier seasons. So like,
oh yeah, that
it's
did
like
happen,
Oh yeah,
didn't
no,
it?
he did. He did. I yeah, no, I remember. I remember.
so
Trust
I'm
me.
like, so it's still that guy, you know what I mean? Like it's still that guy. But again, credit to Vincent because he plays it so well and he does these little nuances, these crazy little small nuances that he just brings to it. There's like, yeah, that's Kingpin. It's just like Charlie with Daredevil playing Matt. It's
Yes.
like, yo, he's Daredevil. No
Yeah.
shade to Ben Affleck, but
If
Charlie's Daredevil.
if we
Like
didn't
Oh,
know he was not like actually blind, I
blind,
swear.
right? Right.
like that's how it is. Okay, well, listen, I got a couple of you real quick. So, they saw that your audition clearly made you the best fit for this role, but do you think that perhaps your experience in that realm possibly heavily contributed? And when they did finally give you the green light, did they specifically ask you to utilize some of that knowledge to maybe help the scenes come out a little better?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, when I got on set, yeah, of course, when everybody found out my background, it was like, it just it just helps have a second and third pair of eyes, so like they know I'm
Mhm.
on set, we're doing this thing, but I can also be like, hey guys, you hold your weapons this way, it's just an extra pair.
Mm.
So and then also credit to the guys, man, Aaron and Justin, um, and David Boyd and those guys, they, they allowed me and they gave me the permission to do so, though, to also be like, oh, how would you do this because you actually did the job.
That's
So
so
that was
cool.
really cool, and because you don't get that all the time, you get like,
Yeah.
sometimes you're just like, yo, stay in your lane, your lane's an actor. But sometimes it's like, oh man, oh, you actually did this, and it
Yes.
helps, and and that's always good. It feels good. It feels good to be needed and wanted that way.
Your experience speaks volume and they're noticing it. So no, that is
Yeah.
it's that's Disney. So that's a great, that's a great thing to have, because I'm
Yeah.
just saying that speaks a lot. So that's awesome. I'm glad. I think that it's really cool that you turned your past into your future, and also, your your goal, when you're a little kid and you're like, I want to be this. Well, you wanted to be an actor, and now, you're an actor, you're teaching other
Yeah.
actors how to properly, you know what I'm saying, like portray police officers in a way that, I wouldn't question it, because it looks so legit that, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he said, I got a new task force, no body cams, overtime, I was like, oh, it's like this. Okay. I was just like, and then I was just like, oh, they got Officer Cole. Oh, this is gonna be so good. And then the next thing you see of the task force is, oh gosh, what's old boy's name that fought? I can't think of his name right now for some reason.
Oh, Muse.
The Muse?
No, not Muse. The officer that got knocked out by Daredevil.
Yeah,
Officer Powell, yes. Officer Powell, man, he's just getting them hits in. I'm happy. I'm happy that, like, you're not the one taking the beatings from Daredevil. Man, they are rough. They are. He just throws a baton and says, "Oh shit." Whatever, and then just goes on about his business. Like, it was, oh god, it was great.
It was brutal, but that's the aim, man. The aim is to try to keep the brutality there, and Hamish, the actor that plays Powell, is a great sport, man. He's an amazing actor. He really is. So it's all around good stuff, man. It's hilarious. Because I'm glad I'm not getting beat up like that too.
When we saw him, I'm not gonna lie, that scene at the apartment with the witness, and I'm sorry, but when he picked his whole body up and dumped him, I was like, he ain't gonna come back right from that one. That was like, oh gosh, like the other dude went into the wall, and I'm just like, this New York PD is getting like, they're getting beat right now. So I was happy as you being on, the task force and being the only melanated man on the task force. I was glad to see that Daredevil wasn't harming you in any way, shape, or form. So
You're so silly.
From all of us, I was happy to see that, and then that Vincent hasn't put hands on you either. So that I'm just saying, listen, your words, and kudos to you, because I don't know if that must have been scripted, but you had 3 words. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go. Beautiful, like, oh my gosh.
I don't want to smoke with that man. I'm like,
nah,
what say? They're like, we did it. Okay.
Yeah,
but the look was real. The look was real too. Like, he's like, okay, sure. And so that was an interesting thing. I had a question about, like, being having the like, we worked yourself up to play this role, and then it's kind of right now it's depicting you as a dirty, like even though what I like about your character is that they give you some legit backstory. Like, they're like, look, he wasn't, this ain't some dirty dude. Like, the system has done him wrong. How would he say it? Yes, the system has done him.
Yeah.
The system
Exactly. He hates vigilantes, man, and that's the thing. So he feels that he's not. It's not like he's a bad cop. He just has a different kind of justice meter,
Right.
of where he's like, wait, so if they can step out the line, we should be able to step out the line and stop them. That's how he feels. He's not a, people keep thinking that he's this bad cop. It's like, no, he's just a person where it's like, law and order is this thing that he adheres to. And sometimes, he calls outside the lines, because the truth is that's where most police work is done, in the gray,
Wow.
So,
And he knows this
Ain't that the
firsthand.
truth?
Yeah.
So how
You know,
so how many people you done knocked out and didn't tell nobody about it? No, I'm just playing. Don't, let's keep that off the record. Let's keep that off the record.
like
Now,
nobody.
I want to
man.
ask you about this. A couple of last questions, and we appreciate you, Jeremy. We're not going to keep you here forever, so just a few more things. We certainly appreciate and honor and respect your time. So we don't want to go too much further. But I am curious because you brought up adventures and babysitting, and that is a classic. Like, I'm a nostalgia guy, so you're talking about the Playboy magazine and them being all in the station wagon, and the dude looking over there doing all the crazy stuff. Yeah, I remember that picture of babysitting. That was like was Elizabeth Shue, all right, and she had the babysitting these kids, and she had her boyfriend tag. It was crazy. So it just leads me to ask you, like, I loved when you had on your caption that you finally made it to the MCU, which says to me, this is something you were yearning for. Like, this is something you would have loved to have. So I'm just curious as to what some of your, we call them nerd kinks, but not to make it weird. Just like, what is it from like your childhood all the way up to now? Like, what do you watch? What did you read? What as a kid, cartoons, movies, never-ending story? Are we talking video games? Where do we go? Where's the limits?
Yo, it's like, I'm a 90s baby, I was born, so for me, I grew up on Marvel and DC, but Marvel mainly. I put it this way, I used to collect, so back in the day, they used to be this magazine called Wizard, and it had all of it. So I used to draw all the time, so that I would get these books and I would draw all the characters and Spawn, like Tom McFarlane changed my life, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So from there, like, and stuff, when I say finally made it to the MCU, because every actor, for the most part, even ones that's like, well, I'll never do superhero, like, whatever. I just want to be an actor that entertains people. I want to do the cool things and the fun things. So it was like back when, the Netflix version of Daredevil, I watched that show like, man, this would be cool. I would love to be on this show like this. And then, and then to turn around and, like, 10 years later or whatever it is, I'm on the show, and that's like, that's what I meant, where it's like, it's like I'm not even, because it was something you speak into existence, and then when it actually happens, you're like, oh shit, excuse me. It's like, oh, it actually works. Like that actually, you know what I mean? I cuss like a sailor too. So my mom is a firefighter, so it's like, I grew up in firehouses. So that's,
Okay, we never know.
My mom is not a firefighter, but I did convert her into cursing, so we're good. Don't worry.
Jeremy, how did you learn that you got the part, and how did you act? Did they call you? Did you get an email? And what was the first thing you did as soon as you found out?
My manager called me. She was the one, and she was like, she always has this little funny thing that she does, whether it's like, I don't know, like book your comic books or something like that, she said, or whatever, something very lame. And I was like, okay. And then when she told me, I was like, all right, cool. So it's, it go through phases, right? Because you get put on hold first, and then after hold, it's like, then you get the job. So after I actually got the job, I remember like being like, okay, cool, this is great. All right, what are the dates? And I hang up the phone, and I'm like, who should I call? I can't know what to. And then like maybe 10 minutes later, it set in, and I just started hollering. You know what I mean? I was like, because it took me, because I knew of Cold North and, like, and Chip's that run of Daredevil, you know what I mean? So it was like, because mind you, I didn't really know who the character was until you get the job or whatever, and then you can't talk about anything. So I'm like, that's what, so I mean, trust me, like, me having to wait that long for the premiere, just for it to come out, for me to say something.
Oh yeah.
I've been going crazy for like a year and a half, because you can't tell nobody. But
you did good.
But yeah, man. Yeah, and to actually get it is great.
You screamed? How you scream? What it sound like?
Is it like I'm going to Disney World scream?
Yeah. It was like, and then reality sets in, and it's like, oh no, you have a job to do. It's one of those things where you get something great, and you remember, like, this doesn't change your right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great when you do the thing, but right now, let me go ahead and get to work. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I could dig it. All right, a couple more things we gotta let you go. Go ahead.
Jeremy, I got one more question for you, if you don't mind. My question is for you. Now that you've gotten to dip your toes into Disney and Marvel, and right on that in the vigilante, show, what is a character that you would like to, if you could, any Marvel or DC character? What character would you like to play, and why?
Oh,
I think we lost his screen. Did we lose his screen?
Jeremy, can you hear us?
Let me see.
Jeremy, can you hear us?
I would actually. I can't hear you guys anymore.
Yeah, we lost.
I don't know what happened.
But I can hear you.
Are you able to?
But I just
are you able to?
So
are you able
a
to?
second
Do you
try
still
to
have the link? You want to leave it and come right back in if need be?
Hold on, that is very weird.
Sometimes if you're on your cell phone, you have to leave and come right back in. Sometimes it does that.
I'm also have to kind of log out and come back in, basically.
Yeah,
and then we
just hit that same link and come right back in the same way. If you don't mind.
Okay, so let me see if hold on. I think I can make this work. I have faith in myself.
Come on, Chicago cop, you got this. You can do it. Come on, Hollywood.
Okay, cool. I guess I'm gonna have to do what you just said.
Okay,
log out and
come right back in and let's see if that works.
And hit you guys right back.
Okay,
all right, we'll be right here.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's a shame. I hope he's able to come back with no problems. It looks like you're about to delve in to
a good question.
Well, you know what? I'll let you talk about it. But I love how you remembered all the words from when he was told, because that did happen. Like Kingpin was like, well, you did a fine job. That's good. And you did the voice too. Like, she was like, yo, I did that.
I do this. This is why y'all love me, okay? Because I do my homework, okay? I watched it before I came up here. Don't worry, just to make sure. I got home just in time. I said, "Wait, I have an hour. Put the Daredevil on right now."
Yo, and it's weird because even though if we really wanted to, we could, as I said before, we probably could see the rest of it. I honestly have learned that I may not be a big fan of the screeners. All right, welcoming on back, Mr. Jeremy with the 3 Bible names.
Sorry, I gave him that. I was the reason behind all this. Okay, so Vince has got a church background. So
he grew up in the church. Jeremy,
it's actually hilarious. It's actually hilarious because I use Jeremy Isaiah Earl because I used to just go by Jeremy Earl, but there's another Jeremy Earl actor. And so my credits as I was working was going under his name, and I had to hold this big deal of trying to fix it. Then I was like, look, I'll just go by Jeremy Isaiah Earl.
I bet you that Jeremy ain't on Marvel with Kingpin. I know that much. So you can't say it, but I'll say it. I'm gonna say it. Look, go fix your name, bro. You messed up the IMDb. But it is cool that we got Jeremy, Isaiah, Joshua, Genesis, Judges, and
Abraham. Abraham, I was just about to say that. Oh my God.
Ecclesiastics, Isaac.
Right.
I'm sorry.
All right, no, for real though.
I'm sorry.
I had to throw it in there. You stole mine, Jeremy. I had to throw it in there. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, I just want to let you know, I Googled Jeremy Earl and you pop up first. You're the first whole page. Okay. That's all I Googled was Jeremy. Just to prove a point to you. You own that.
Well, check that out.
Take your flowers, okay?
Y'all crazy. You guys are good time.
All right. So my question, sorry, before we got cut out was obviously you've gotten to dip your toes into the Marvel universe, being into the superhero vigilantes, show. If you could, if Marvel was like, hey, Isaiah, we love everything you bring to the table. What superhero would you like to be if Marvel or Disney gave you that option, and why?
I'll go if it I used to want to play Green Lantern, right? I used to.
Oh, you'd be perfect, but I'm sorry.
Green Lantern was like
For like
one of the.
for like
It was
for like a
like,
couple weeks
Jeremy
too
Isaiah,
late.
it was
you know, and this is back.
Earl,
Look,
that's
and look, back in the day, I think it was like in my 20s or early 30s, late 20s, they were doing a Justice League, and I remember going out for Green Lantern, and then of course the movie fell through. But I mean, I think Common got the role over me anyway, but then the movie fell through. But let's say like if it's yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. So y'all don't know this is a long time ago. It never got made. It never got nothing. But it was just auditions that went out for it.
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah,
Anyway.
but DC for me, I would really like I would. You know, as a kid, I always wanted to play Gambit. That was a big
Yo,
one.
my man.
Gambit was like my favorite. That was my favorite
Listen.
X-Men. That was my favorite. That was my favorite toy because I had the Gambit toy with the damn jacket. Like you know, I felt like because to me, I felt like Gambit looked like me. Gambit is Creole. Gambit is like a mix. He's a melting pot. So you know, and no shame to anybody who's played Gambit, and Channing Tatum is wonderful and all that good stuff. But just for me, like it was one of those things. Where, I think But then again, I idolized it. You know, as a kid, I played with the toys.
I love that.
So yeah, Gambit was a big one. But you know, it's gosh, I mean, I like certain smaller comics that like maybe not like heroes that not everybody was up on, you know, like with Image
we're
Comics. There's a
nerds.
guy named Grifter. Remember Grifter? He has the red mask that comes down from Image Comics, and he had the two guns, and he was partnered with this big thing. Yeah, Image the Grifter. His name is Grifter.
Okay, so Mr. Jeremy Isaiah Earl just went full nerd on you. Like he went. Don't you know Grifter? Obviously with the red mask in the Image Comics. Duh.
Like, are you serious?
He is a real bloke. He just identified. I thought he was an actor. No, this dude is a damn nerd. Like he is just like for real. Like I thought he was put on show.
Are we about to do it? Are we about to do this, Vince?
I think we're doing it.
One of us. One of us.
Did we like become best friends just now?
We did.
All right.
Right. Yep.
I would love that. I would love if you get to play that. There's so many comics out there like Icon and some of the things going on with Milestone that have yet to been put on full screen. And it's just great that you have finally, because you said in the caption, finally gotten in the MCU, that we hope that this visibility gives everybody the option to put you on the front of that palette. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, I mean, you fit the part just right. You got the look, you got the experience. And I mean, why not, man? We want to see more faces like yours and talent like yours on the full screen, bro. So I won't keep. One last question, and I promise. And then I'm gonna ask you to give us a shout out. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you an advance notice about that. So you can go ahead and get your voice ready. Because I am a little curious. He said he wanted to be like Gambit. I wanted to know what his Creole accent was like. But I'm gonna let that one go for next time. What I'm curious about, and we asked this about many of the folks that come on that have been on set with a lot of folks. You know, there's a lot that goes on that when the cameras are turned off. Is there anything interesting or funny that has happened on set that you are? Now, we don't want the stuff that obviously you can't talk about. We don't want the personal stuff, but you know, there's some funny things that happen every now and then, or something real goofy or trippy that is something worth sharing. Can you recall anything that happened in your trials as Officer Cole?
Really good. You know, I mean, it was a lot of moments of calamity because we were shooting at such an uncertain time. So it was kind of, you know, nothing. It was nothing out of the ordinary like that, you know, that I can really think of. And I'm sorry for, you know, not giving answer on this question. Like, hey, listen, I'm like, it's pretty standard, man. Everybody fucking loves each other.
Nope, just good old boring work, sir.
I want to do a shout out real quick. Can we do a side by side with me and Jeremy real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey Marvel, I just want to talk to you. There's like a whole book, it's thick, of characters that Isaiah could be. Let's put him in a movie or something. He's totally worth it.
Oh my god.
Just saying. Whole book.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, I'm not even here. So,
you
Mr.
guys
Jeremy,
got my back. I appreciate it.
we'll go ahead and let you go. But if you wouldn't mind, this is a little tradition that we've had with guests on the way out. We like for you to just, if you've had a good time with this, which I assume you're not acting, and you know, I've seen a couple laugh out louds, I've seen a couple LOLs. You know what I'm saying? If you've had a good time with this, if you wouldn't mind just shouting out the New Blurred Order. We're trying to get our name. We want to be like a place that, people of color who like stuff like us, like you with your Image Comics, can feel safe and want to just get the name out there and get the word out. So if you just want to, say something nice about the New Blurred Order, that'd be so dope, man. And then we will release you to the wild. Sir, we sincerely appreciate it.
Right. It's the New Blurred Order, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see here.
Take your time. No take.
All right. Hey, everybody. Jeremy Isaiah Earl here, and I'm chilling with these fine people at the New Blurred Order. And it feels good to finally be at home with nerds of color like myself, who I used to be a closeted nerd, but not no more, because on here, they make you feel like home.
Thank you.
So much, awesome. Jeremy, Isaiah, Ecclesiastes, Revelation, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Jones, Earl, Isaiah.
I appreciate it. Hey, guys, do me a favor when you get a chance to make sure you close those doors back there, all right? Now, because I need you to close the doors back there. Yeah, no, you heard me? Close the doors so you can get the collection plate. I'm sorry.
He's trying to, like I said, man, we got the offering already, man. Don't tell me. Listen, I come in with 1,000 people in here.
I'm just saying, listen, I'm pitching for you to be the next Spawn if they come out with another movie, okay?
Hey,
I can see him Spawn. I can see him.
That used to be my thing, man. I tell you.
Andy kicking ass. He's of color. You see what I'm saying? You got the pretty eyes. Like, there's so many things in your favor right now. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm caping.
Well, thank you guys. I'm flattered beyond.
I'm sure you can do all of it. Well, listen, Mr. Cole again. Mr. Earl again. We appreciate you.
That's what's funny on set. They're like, hey, can we get like Cole North? And then somebody said, Jeremy, where's Jeremy? And they're like, Jeremy.
Are you looking around?
Jeremy. And they're like, Cole North. It's like, oh, Cole North. It's like, yeah, by the way, guys, my name is Jeremy. My real name is Jeremy. But I get it.
He's a method actor. He is who he is. They think you it is. Well, again, man, Mr. Jeremy, I hope you will not let this be your last time pulling up. So now that you've seen how he is and how he was and how humble he was during the actual shooting and airing of the show, let's check out and tell me if y'all noticed a little bit of a little swag difference after that second one. Maybe just because he's more familiar with this. And also apologies because the Wi-Fi wasn't Wi-Fi and as rough, as tough as it probably should have been for my man Jeremy in this first interview. But in the second one, he definitely does not have those same problems. In fact, it's like he went to a whole 4K high def camera for the second one. So go ahead, prepare yourselves, because we still got a little bit more Jeremy Isaiah Earl. And this one, dare I say, he feels a little bit more natural and maybe even lets his hair down a little bit. Tells us a little bit, gets a little bit cool with us. So tune on in, guys. Appreciate you. Here is side B of the Daredevil mixtape. Let's go ahead and get into it, friend. Let go. Welcome back. Y'all already know what it is. It's time to start blurred stuff with your blurred friends. Let's do it. And as you all know, man, we just watched the colossal finale of the Daredevil Born Again series, you know what I'm saying, with Kingpin and them and Daredevil and them. And obviously Mr. Officer Cole North, the one and only Jeremy Isaiah Earl, who did, believe it or not, I know you've seen it if you're watching this. If you ain't, spoiler alert, guess what? Boop. My dog survived the season. I mean, I think. We don't really know yet, but either way, we're going to talk about it today. This is the New Blurred Order, baby. Pull on up.
This is Thugnificent telling everybody to tune in to New Blurred Order, my nigga. The best podcast on the planet Earth, nigga.
All righty, as discussed, yes. If you haven't been watching, then stop what you're doing, go watch, and then come back, and you'll know what we talk about. And when you do, you're gonna see this really dope dude named Jeremy Isaiah Earl playing the role of Officer Cold North, and he killed the role. I mean, listen, when you're gonna get a role like that, it may help to actually be Chicago police, and then to be cast as that is like a work of God. Come on, man. So we had to have him back. Talk about the fact that they kept him all the way through the end of the season, and none other than Mr. Jeremy Isaiah Earl is here to join us today. What's going on, Mr. Jeremy Isaiah Ecclesiastes Jerm?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's up?
Not much, man. It's good to see. All right, look, we was cool last time. We was getting to know each other. We were looking in each other's eyes, you know what I'm saying, and all that. But now, like, you back, it's like you fix your own drink. You're not a guest no more. Like, you were here. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to get straight into it, my man.
Yeah, man.
Tell us, are you alive?
Well, that's
did you survive?
You know, we don't know. We don't know. I could just say that, and it was a great experience. No, but you don't know, man. You gotta watch and see. Man. It looked pretty grim for Cold North, man. But you never know, man. Stranger things have happened, you know.
It did look grim. Go ahead, Yas.
I'm just saying, this is the MCU, okay? If there's no body, okay,
Exactly.
you still alive. So,
Exactly.
No body, no crime, right?
Right.
I didn't see a body, so that's what I'm saying. So I know you can't divulge that. I was being silly. I know you can't really tell us, and I'm glad. But let me just say this. First of all, phenomenal job.
yes.
I mean, it drew me in. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? The role, we know it wasn't the biggest from the very beginning. But once you came on the scene, it wasn't just a little side role. This wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to be in the background. Oh, freeze the screen. Hey, that's me right there in the background. That's my fist. You know what I'm saying? It was like, this is Cold North, one-on-one screen time with Vincent D'Onofrio. And then in the finale, you're one-on-one in the scene with actual Charlie Cox. You're getting your ass beat, if I may say. So
Right.
in on you, bro. So I'm interested in finding out what it's like to prepare for a scene like that, number one. And number two, what you walk away from that scene after having shared it with those two acting giants.
Well, I mean, honestly, first, like, shouts out to the stunt crew, man, who, you know, does a lot of the action, Phil and Czar and those guys, and we basically just kind of follow what they put out there as far as, you know, they'll do it, and then we just kind of come in and try to look our best as we do it. But on the topic of what's it like with, you know, with Charlie and Vincent and even John, man, everybody's real and is professional. It's like, you don't too much, you know, you may have a sense of like, man, I got to make sure I bring it. But I think more so for me is just, they're just other actors in the scene, you know, and they're good. So because they're good, it kind of pushes you to do the best you can. But the one thing I do is this, like, I'll ask an actor, you know, after I do it, and it doesn't matter who the actor is. Like, after I do a scene with someone, I usually ask, like, hey, am I giving you everything you need? Or do you know, is there anything that you're bumping up against with me as an actor, or with me as in my performance, just so I can get the best performance out of the scene? So I think that's the real part, is I just kind of ask everybody. It doesn't matter who they are. But at the time, it wasn't more like, I mean, I'm in the scene with Charlie, I'm in the scene with Vincent. No, it was like I'm in a scene with Daredevil, you know, because he's all, you know what I mean? Because the nerd in me, right? The nerd in me, and he's all in the suit. Even though I'm taking the L, but it's like it's like a great L, because I'm just like, holy shit, right? You know what I mean? Charlie's over here kicking my ass. The Punisher, Frank Castle, just shot me in the fucking arm and threw a knife through my hand. It is a great day. Okay, like, as far as acting goes, yes, what do you do? But you know what, man? I was in there getting my ass kicked by Daredevil and the Punisher, and it was awesome.
That's
and I'll
awesome.
always remember that.
I love that. Okay, I just circle back. Remember when we first like, you know, interviewed you? I was like, I'm so happy you're not getting your ass beat.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it down.
And then I'm not gonna lie, when the season finale, I was like, oh, I was mistaken. He got all business. And then Castle came hard. Listen, I'm just grateful. we didn't watch you get stabbed in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know, right. I wasn't one of those guys who got a headshot, so
like the one where he's like, "Oh, do you care about him?" And when he capped him in the living room, I was like, "Okay, Frank, Frank's on that level right now."
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you and she said, "I got my ass beat by Daredevil," and then Castle came in. Like listen.
Yeah, man, that's what we do it for. It's like it's one of those things where I was just excited about it. I was excited about the whole situation. From being a huge fan of Daredevil the series, and as far as comics, and then the Netflix, and then which make you a fan of Charlie and those guys, and it's just like, holy crap, man! I used to watch this with my kid.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, and now I'm sitting here like
the full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that makes it that much sweeter is the fact that like you enjoy it so much. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not only a fan, you know what I'm saying, but you love, the history, you know what I'm saying? Like why, Matt Murdock is Matt Murdock, and why Kingpin is Kingpin, and why Frank Castle, he holds nothing back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the fact that, you get to not only be on set with these amazing actors, but also get to interact with them on scene, not once, but I'm sorry, but I'm still not gonna let that go. The hand on the chest with Kingpin, that was a moment for me, man. I was listen, okay. The hand on the titty was a thing, okay. It was like I got this, like yeah, it was.
That was a great episode too. One of my favorite episodes, man, so far. And no, it's just great, man. Because if I'm being honest, every person on there is great actors. Every cast member is great. They really did a great job, and everybody is just a delight to be around. And you just couldn't ask for more, because it's one of those things where if you're around such great performers, you're gonna rise. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean, because you have to meet them where they're at. So shout outs to casting and Marvel for just doing a great job of just picking really good actors, man. We have really good actors in our show.
I have a question. So, as you mentioned, the aforementioned ass whooping that we referenced. Now we know that when it comes to Marvel and sci-fi and stuff like that, you're not actually getting beat up. So you had to go through a period of getting makeup and getting, kind of bloodied up. What all went into the makeup aspect? Were there any prosthetics? Was there any, the preparation for the scene itself? And then how long did they have you hold your hand up? How long they have you hold your hand up?
Yo. I'm glad you asked that.
We're in a debate about this. After you're done answering this, I have a second follow-up question about the whole being stuck to the door thing. So yeah.
No, it was pretty practical how they did it, but yeah, I was stuck up there all day. You know what I mean? Like you talking as I undid it, like you can hear the shoulder, like click, 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 click coming back down. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but everybody was very like, hey, you need to take it down. But I'm trying to be macho and shit, because again, got. John Bernthal, you got Charlie. No, I can do it. No, I'm good. You know what I mean? Knowing my shoulder is on fire, but I'm like, no, not in front of these guys. Not gonna be me. I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm sitting there that night with ice on my shoulder. Talking about, I don't know why I'm so stupid.
So what was it like? 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Like how long are we talking?
Yeah.
Off and on for some hours, man, all day. Off and on.
Oh my God! So your arm had to. Did they give you a something? You know,
no. So what it is I'm not like, so the glove itself, and I hope I'm not giving away nothing for like effect. Special effect, but the glove itself had a hook on it where they nail it to a wall, so I can just hang my. So I'm just hanging here. I'm not just like flex. I'm hanging my arm here, but the way that the corner was to the wall, it wasn't like I'm like this. I'm like that.
Yeah,
because there's another wall here. So it's the twist. So even though my arm's hanging, it's that awkward twist around that corner that I was just like, I could take this. No, this ain't nothing. Because I'm the police. This ain't nothing. I done been through worse than this.
You got
I don't know who I was playing with and why.
Listen,
You were playing
you
with
get home
God.
and try to reach for like the toilet paper or the freaking remote, and you're like,
Man,
why?
try putting on the jacket. Oh, it was done. And the crazy thing is they asked me like 100 times, "You good? Everything okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm good." One of the stunt guys, a big buddy man named Jack, he was just like, "I know that shit hurt." And I'm like, I'm good. It was rough.
Okay. All right. That was so you had a follow-up question, Yaz.
Yeah, okay. So my follow-up question was, how hard was it for Agent Cole to get out of the sling? Because I was like, listen, we know if nobody is there,
I think if
all
he
you
was,
had to do was like,
and then I'm thinking what he would probably do. What he would probably do in that scenario is maybe just like kind of rip down the knife. You know what I'm saying? And then
run into the hallway.
Right, exactly. Make them kind of.
I went full military. I was like, okay, so listen. To save his life, he knows, how much time that grenade's got,
But maybe he was unconscious too, though. Daredevil did smack him in his head.
No, you were like, your eyes were open. They weren't closed. I was paying attention. I had to rewind just so we can have this argument because I was like,
oh God, I love it.
Dead. I don't care what y'all say. That man's gonna make a comeback. But can we please talk about? I'm sorry. You are the bad cop, the Punisher cop that killed White Tiger. What?
Yeah.
I was like, no, not Agent Cole. They did my boy dirty.
Yeah, man. You got to look at it like this is how I, this is how I equate it in my mind, right?
Okay.
If I'm trying to use real life logic and the way the Kingpin had spun the story. Here it is, you have a guy that got into an altercation with two cops, given the story, whatever, and one cop ends up dying in that exchange, right? Then I guess in my mind, Cole North is more so because he hates vigilantes and everything else. He finds out that this guy is not only, this situation, but he's also a vigilante. And we know how Cole feels about vigilantes. And I think that, through the coercement of him maybe believing, I don't know, that he was righteous in some way, you know what I mean? Because a cop died, that gave I don't know, man. I'm just trying to, I try to toss things around to kind of soften the blow because there's been a lot of people like, yo, wait a minute. And it's just like, well, it's MCU, man. It all comes around and it makes sense in the end, and the way it just came out my mouth is how it runs through my head. I don't really know. I just, you know what I mean? I can only hope. In my mind, Cole North, it was Nightcrawler, and he teleported, and he was out of there. You know what I mean?
Whoa!
And we just make some universes together that I'm
right, exactly.
I'm just saying they're both owned by Disney. Fuck it, let's do that.
Right, let's just
yeah. In my mind, like Wong showed up right before the explosion.
Right, exactly.
And it does like this, and then he just takes.
He's like, no, he's just misunderstood.
Hey, actually, you know what would be more believable if Peter's friend, the Asian kid, did it? Because they live in New York City. You know what I'm saying? So, if he was like, "Oh, I got you,"
I mean,
you were right.
All things are connected, right?
No, right? All things.
I'd like to follow up on Yaz's question a little bit because she did mention that you were revealed to be, unfortunately, not one of the good ones, evidently, at least perceptively for now.
Yeah.
Was there a moment that you were made aware, or did you learn the same way we learned that you were the one that took out White Tiger? Because I ain't gonna lie, that was, up until that point, I was like, man, whatever, man, my dog, they trying to, because there were some small indications, and I don't know if this was directorial or if this was just you and your pure genius of acting, but there were glimmers of hope for Cole North, right? Yeah, it's like there were instances in which it felt like they were like, yo, we gonna do this, and Cole North was like, man, that sounds like crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm all about that. But by this time, he may have been too far gone. My question, though, just to circle back, is: were you given any heads up about your character's actions, or did you learn as you were reading the script, like, oh, I'm the one that killed this like, oh, it was me, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mixture of both. They just kind of, let you
Okay.
know that, hey, it's going to be some cool things coming down the pipe. And, you just, when you find out is when you find out. It's nothing. You definitely don't come in the door knowing anything. At least I didn't.
Right.
And then it's just like, or when they have storylines or certain things they want to get across, they'll tell you, like, hey, keep this in mind, even though you don't understand the full arc of what they're doing, but you just kind of trust them. You know what I mean? So when it came down to that, I laughed a little bit and I was like, okay, that's different. And, but also, it was also during, the overhauling of the show as well. And, but ultimately, I think, I think it's cool at the end of the day, and I'm curious to see, what will happen if anything does happen, with Cole, if he didn't meet his end in that apartment. But you can only wait and hope. And I think I heard something about they're shooting season 2 now. So I'm pretty sure something will happen.
You got to be tight-lipped, boy. Marvel don't play that.
No,
Yes,
they don't.
That's facts, because oh man, I mean, except for Tom Holland, because I don't know. I don't know what's up with him. I think he's just like, they just, they're like, he's so young, he doesn't mean to, he can't help it, he gets excited, like, yeah, his age falls into that. But I mean, other than Tom Holland, no one's allowed to spill the tea. Okay, like he's
right. Yeah.
But okay, so my question was, what was the most memorable or challenging experience that you had on set? Like, what would you say, being in a collaborative process, or, any like insights, into the production life, what would you say were, because I know you're always checking in with them to make sure that you're giving them, what I'm saying, exactly what they're looking for and all your scenes.
What was the hardest part or the toughest part about the production aspect on being on set? Oh yeah, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all and keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Having my arm pinned up on that wall. I'm telling you.
I mean, I understand.
Like, it's everything, like legitimately, everything else was great. Like, when I tell you, I've been on sets where I'd be like, oh man, wow, whatever. But like this one, like crew, man, everybody, when I tell you, it was just great. And my only thing was, and even then, I'm like, I'm doing it for the show. But yeah, man, having being stuck in that position was it was spectacular.
Was that the most memorable?
I mean, the most.
It's hard.
It's hard.
So many things.
I know.
It's hard, man,
so
because I mean, like
there's so many.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
when I first met Vincent, when I first met Charlie, like,
did you full on fangirl, like geek out?
Nah.
Did he?
Nah, he's a professional, man.
I give you, yeah, man. You wait till you get in your dressing room and then you go crazy. You're sitting there like, come on, boy. You know what I'm saying? Listening to, what's that, Denise Williams? Let's hear it for the boy. Down. I played that like all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
I was so happy because that's like, something that's something my mom used to play. And whenever we do a good job, you know what I'm saying? And she's still alive and all that. I don't want to make it seem like it's some sad story. But no, it's just sort of something I play when I'm like, yeah, I did a good thing. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, yeah, the most memorable thing, I guess, would be just the whole experience. It's hard to say because it was like the idea of, you know what? When I booked the show, I was living in Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
That was very memorable. I remember that I was living in Hell's Kitchen when I booked the show, and I was like, wow,
legit living in
like
Hell's
actually
Kitchen?
living in Hell's Kitchen
on 44th and 10. Yes.
That's pretty beautiful, though.
So that was
yes. Are you hearing all of this?
He's
All
a
right,
resident of Hell's Kitchen and getting us to play in Hell's Kitchen. What the hell?
Nah. They actually auditioned this dude for a role that he actually is. He's Cold North. He's Chicago police. He was living in Hell's Kitchen. Like, is this an audition or is this a reality show at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's not even a fake thing. But you mentioned some of your pleasant memories, of which I'm sure there are so many. On that, could you rank what it was like when you came into in the presence of the oh so intense Punisher, who damn near shot you in the face? I mean, that's next level from where I'm from. Like, I mean, this dude is just like, since Walking Dead, he's always just scared me. Like, I wouldn't, I don't. He's just the type of dude that I don't want to accidentally step on his toe in the elevator. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just curious. Like, we've learned about what it was like to work with Cox and Vincent, but
John.
What about Mr.
John is a cool dude, man. Like, he's an intense guy, but also he's a person give you the shirt off his back, man. Like, especially when he found out I was the police, he has the utmost respect for law enforcement, and we chopped it up for a little bit, and he's just an amazing dude. He's just like, I think the first thing he said to me was just like, "Hey, yo, what's up, man?" You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh, he like he one of them, like, he's good anywhere, like John Barenthal can be good anywhere, any hood, he's good. He got a pass for sure, like."
He's coming to the cookout. What you said?
Yeah. Oh yeah. John Barenthal at the cookout. Oh yeah. He one of them.
I think, I saw some clips of him like playing ball and stuff. So he's giving me, he's giving me whatever.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah, man. Well, he has an amazing story, man. Like, his story of how he really got into everything and how it happened for him. Like, he has an amazing story. He really does. He's a talented dude, for real.
Oh man. So you can't tell us this. What y'all was talking about, man? What you're like, all right, next.
Oh no, just family and kids.
And let me ask you this.
Yeah, talk about who
when he talks to you, is he like, I don't know, Cole, it don't seem like you're ready. Man, hey, what I really want to do, Red. Or is it like, hey man, that was really cool.
No,
like,
it's not.
I like how you.
I'll tell you, it's not the second one. It's not the second one. You know what I mean?
Nah,
can you imagine that? If he's like this tough dude, like, you know what I mean, on camera, and then when you talk to him,
dude, that was awesome. That was such a great job.
That
was totally great. You say y'all was just talking about.
He's a cat with some grit and some edge, man. You know what I mean? He's a good dude. He's just like an all around good dude. I ain't got nothing bad about him.
That's what's up.
Okay. Well, I still have a few more questions about Daredevil, but I don't want to step on Yazzie too much. I think I already have, maybe inadvertently, a couple times. So Yazzie, I'm gonna yield it to you again, and then I want
to. I'll let you go one more time, and then I'll go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I just want to know. Okay, so since you did learn that you were the one who did actually, have a bad relationship, evidently, with the White Tiger, was it you wearing the body armor, walking away from the body did you actually shoot that scene, or was that somebody else?
Oh, you mean the scene? I mean, yeah, it was that was my character, but that wasn't my body.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't physically there to shoot that. I wasn't physically there to shoot that day. But they did a great job, because also it was one of those things where I think it's good they did it that way, because to hold the secret as long as they possibly can. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was smart.
Yeah, it was.
But no, it wasn't me in the physical. Like, at the.
They did a good job of getting the build, though. It was still, you know what I'm saying. So it all worked out. All right. So there's that, and the other thing. Now I know that, as we've already discussed, Marvel is very, 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 very good about making sure they don't let too many slips and leaks and too many drip. So they don't even tell the actors what's happening next. I'm assuming that as of this point, you more than likely aren't even sure about a second season and all of that other stuff. However, there are some key indicators in here that you should, from where I stand, Mr. Earl, be involved in all the Daredevil. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay.
so I mean, listen, they definitely offed certain folks, but you were not one of those people. Does this definitely at least give us some hope that we may see you in some of the upcoming seasons? I know you don't know,
Yeah, no,
But I
you know,
mean,
I
sometimes
look
you
at it
do
like
know her.
you know, is anybody ever really dead in the MCU?
That part.
You know,
Exactly.
so essentially, it would be great, you know, for me and in my career. It'd be awesome. You know, I couldn't be more happier about that. But you know, it's one of those things where it's like I think the character's great, and I say the character has more to say and more to do. You know, I think so. So you never know. But you know, I look at it like, is anybody ever really dead in the MCU, man? You know.
Right. That's the good
And,
point.
and you know,
All
it
right.
depends, man. Let's say the fans make like, you know, a big fuss about it, or like, you know, we love Cole North.
Yeah.
You know, there's always
I
that.
mean,
Marvel listens
is
to the
that a
fans.
challenge?
Marvel
Was
listens
that
to
a
the fans. Right.
challenge?
Hey, I'm just saying, you know, Marvel Bay. I don't like. Look. However y'all want to slice and dice it, you know what I'm saying? You know, Cole North is a hump. No, let me stop.
Hey, well, I will definitely be out there campaigning, my man. And so listen, I've got some questions about stuff outside of Daredevil. So, yes, if you had any Daredevil related questions, now may be a good time. If not, I was gonna go ahead and
Yeah, I have one more left.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Okay, so I
He
mean,
said, if not, and started to go right into his own thing.
Hey, I try not to be chauvinist.
Yo, you got something about
Sometimes
to
it's
say,
just-
if you don't, I'm gonna keep talking.
it's that's one thing I knew getting into this project. You know, Vince, let him have the limelight if he wants it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have no qualms with it. You know, listen, we shine together or apart. It's fine. Okay, so Daredevil. So, all right. Obviously, we know that you know killed White Tiger. Do you think that's his? I mean, obviously, there's already talks about there becoming like, you know, and his niece taking over. But do you think your character, if he's still alive, will have any interactions with his niece once like the tea maybe comes out about, you know, you killing him? Because we
That's
still,
a good man. That is a good. I have
you know
no
what I'm saying?
idea.
No one
I have
knows.
no idea, but that is a good question. Like, because you know, and it's funny. I never thought about the fallout of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, of like when it all came out. But who knows though? You know what I mean? Everybody, only people that knew are in that room, other than other than like, you know, the audience.
I mean, but you know, like so the truth comes out. This, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This
So
hate
if it ever was to like come out or whatever, I mean, look, anything to get Cole North back is always a good thing to me. So
I
however
hear
they
you.
slice and dice it is always, you know, would be my favorite. But no, that would be, but that's actually very. I think that'd be really cool. That's a great dynamic and a in a redemption story of my character. That would be actually something that will has to be reconciled to a degree. You know. I think, especially if the niece is going to be around and stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah, man. That's a good note. Wow. I mean, that made me think. I'm sitting here just like all blind in my head thinking about it. That's crazy.
Well, the only reason why I asked is because, like, you know, at the very ending, you know, of the episode, you know what I'm saying? After we find out that, you know, you were the person who killed her uncle, you know, she was walking in the streets looking at the cops, you know, just like, you know, having this look about her. And then obviously, you know, future Marvel projects, White Tiger project is coming out. My question is, are they going to use Agent, you know, like Officer Cole as like her arc in her character story? Because if you really think about it, you know what I'm saying, that would be like badass. And
You know
like,
what? They should hire you as a creative executive.
Ding, 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 ding.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Hello, Kevin. Hey, Kevin. My girl, yeah, she right here, bro. She says she ready to work.
She ready.
That's good, man. I wish that Marvel would give some of the secrets away, because I think off script, you know what I'm saying, we might even be able to find them through somebody, or somebody would give us better hints. But as of right now, what we don't want is Jeremy to get in any kind of issues so that he doesn't get called back for that season 2, 3, and 4. Because I see him as kind of like an integral role. I mean, you know, with the right, you know, kind of like Rosario Dawson and old girl, his girlfriend, like somebody who can be in. Because you noticed in this, they also had Kate Bishop's stepdad, or the dude he plays the swordsman, and they also like there's other like they're trying to introduce and as you saw, obviously they introduced Punisher through John Bernthal. So this story coming into play is introducing multiple Marvel projects cross-sectionally. So that's awesome. But Jeremy, there's life outside of Marvel, sir.
Yeah.
Right? Like this not every single project, right? So I'm just curious, like you say you're on the East Coast. We ain't gonna disclose the location, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want the fans to rush you, you know what I mean? But like what you got working on? What else can we look forward to having the pleasure of seeing you in? Or you got anything else in the works? Or should we just be lobbying for season 2? Or talk to us, man.
You should always lobby. You should always lobby. But no,
you heard me. I'm lobbying. You heard me.
We in the inbox trust.
You know, as the industry still is kind of in recovery mode, you know, not many things are shooting and things are trying to figure out where they're going to shoot at. So as us actors, you know, we are thanking our lucky stars, those of us that are working, and we're hoping that just the industry starts to kind of ramp up and speed up and some auditions start to come out, because right now it's just a little slow. So I kind of getting ready to go into shooting another short film and kind of playing with the festival market, you know, because I write and direct as well. So
okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he writes, directs, teaches, all that stuff. Like let's not deny. We were curious because Yaz and I know we kind of breached this a little bit before we started, but Yaz and I are avid con attenders. Like we like to attend Comic-Con, Dragon Con, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. There's a con in where we live in the Central Florida area. There's one here called the MegaCon that we typically are interested. And listen, some of the characters range from the star, the first name on the call sheet, to the 10th name on the call sheet, but all of them walk away with a bag. Have you already talked to your agent about making sure
we're trying to kind of slide into some of these markets and figure out how to, because you know my people, they're just very much so like, yo, we're just actors and this is what we do. So it's like a whole nother brand of kind of tearing into these things. And now that the season's out and the numbers are good and you know, it makes it a little bit more easier to start having talking points with people from the cons, because I'm definitely trying to get up in that, because it's great and it's a great experience. I remember when I go to Comic-Con, I'm like, I don't dress up, but I love it. You know what I mean? It's like it's a nerd's dream, and I told you I'm a nerd, man.
You don't dress up?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Come on now. If you don't listen, if you don't show up at the next con looking just like this, somebody's gonna be mad at that.
It's so funny. My little brother asked me that. My little brother's like, hey, when you go to the con, you gonna dress up as yourself? And I was like, ask yourself this question: any other Marvel actors do they ever dress up as their characters, unless it's some kind of reveal like, you know, RDJ did with Doom? Nobody shows up.
Right.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, maybe not.
But you know what would be funny though? If you went as like a troll to see who actually recognized you in like, you know, not just like, oh, hey, you're cosplaying, like, you know, Officer Cole, and then like, I am Officer Cole, like, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't get the inside joke because you know what I'm saying? Like, I am Officer, and like they'd be like, I'm telling you, they'd be on the phone like, yo, we got a picture with Jeremy Isaiah Cole, like. I put your names together.
I get it. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You gotta merge that shit.
Well, I for one will be cosplaying as a Officer Cole North at an upcoming event. I've already got my bulletproof vest. I'm not you. Yes, he thinks I'm playing.
He's being serious. He's being so serious. You have no idea.
If you do that and show me you do that, I will book a flight and I will come out to Central Florida, bro.
Say less. I'm not. Yes. What? Yeah. Why?
Listen. I do vacation property management, so I'd be like that's a legit thing. Let me know, because I'll see one of my houses are available and the whole nine. Like,
don't play.
All my houses are literally around Disney. Like it's what we do. I mean, you can't see the background in here.
I stayed in a house today. I took my kids to Disney World a couple years ago, man. Stayed in we had a little townhouse thing that was not too far. Like,
we have different
sizes.
Yeah, that's what I do. So we have different sides. That's why I'm so good at like, creating things, because that's what I do. I create people's vacations. Like,
Oh man, that's what's up.
Yeah. So I mean, if you come to Florida, by all means, okay, hit up the New Blurred.
Yeah, because I gotta be having my kids all the time, man. So I'll be looking for like, spots.
We'll hook you up. We'll give you the brother discount. Don't worry.
Man, I appreciate that for sure. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on New Blurred Order Vacation Rentals.
Right, exactly.
The podcast where you get your Airbnb and your nerd content. Not just playing. So yeah, but after this, when we end, stay put for a second. We're gonna ask you something.
Yeah.
But other question that you did mention about your, like, just the life of an actor in general. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but notice as I stalked your Instagram page that you are an active father, a loving father, evidently, who very much is into your kids, and you just mentioned them as well, as you want to bring them down for Disney and things like that. What's the hardest part? I mean, when you get booked for a role, you kind of got to say, all right, kids, I'll see you later. How is it, since we're not actors, as an actor, to communicate these and convey these things? And is there any level of difficulty that the common viewer is unaware of that you think they should be?
I mean, first of all, it's just being a co-parent is always hard. You know what I mean? And so it's more so, when you have scheduled time, you know what I mean? It makes it a little easier. But for instance, when you gotta leave, like I have, my daughter in LA now, it's they're old enough to understand, but it's tough because then you kind of rely on the kindness of others, and that's why you have to, it takes a village for real. It really does. It's because at the end of the day, one thing you don't want is to turn around and kids to be like, you want to be like, it was for something. You know what I mean? So like the almost one of the worst things that could happen is like you do all this sacrifice for this job or for this career, and you either quit or give up or whatever it is, and you never actually reach this point that you want to reach, and then you got to turn around and be like, yo, all that time I spent away from you guys, nothing happened. That was always my fear. Like, when I left Chicago and came to LA and and left the family and everything else, it was more so like, all right, now this got to work because I'm not there every day, and it worked out fine. It worked out great. You know what I mean? I'm very involved in like, this is what we do, but it is hard. It's much harder with kids. It's much harder especially when you're like a single parent, male or female, it doesn't really matter. It's still like you don't have that other part that's like, hey, I have the regular 9 to 5, blah, 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 where you can go gallivanting and playing dress up. It gets a little difficult.
Yeah, man. I mean, I could imagine. But let me just say this. I'm not Dr. Phil or Oprah or Gail, but in my opinion, even if maybe you don't get to the level I guess you aspired to, laying that foundation, creating a space, showing your kids that it's okay to chase your dreams. I don't think that the measure of the outcome should be based on whatever where you end in the race is, but more the impact that you may have had on their lives. And I know you kind of measure it by how much time you did and did not spend with them, but it's not always that. It's how much of an impact you may have had on their lives. My pops wanted to be an actor, but he ended up being a preacher. It didn't work out that way, but since he did, I mean, it got me into stand-up comedy. He wanted to be a bunch of stuff, and so those dreams and those aspirations kind of hereditarily were transferred onto me, and I respect him for that. So I don't want you to just, as I kind of hear your soul talking right now, and I just hopefully I hope you give yourself more grace than thinking, look, if I don't make it, then all this was a waste. I just vehemently disagree with that point.
Well, no, but, I mean, but at the same time, in my mind, it's like, you got to remember this too. Probably got to say it's a very important part. In my mind and where I'm at now, I'm living in my dream. You know what I mean? So for me, it's a little different when I say that, because I can say that, it's been worth it because of the simple fact that I've made a name for myself. Like, it's always funny when my kids will call me, especially my high school daughter, and she's like, oh my God, Dad, my friends Googled you. And I'm like, oh Jesus, you know. So it's like, so because of that kind of stuff, it's like, you know, that those feelings kind of aren't the same. But initially, of course, I'm just like, you know, because you want things to work out and you want to be the best you can be, and ultimately, you know, just be able to take care of your family with this job. You know what I mean? But no, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Because the way that I would kind of chill myself out is to say, like, well, at the end of the day, I'm teaching my kids that, yo, you want to go do something, you get up and go do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't allow certain things in bad relationships or you know, to hold you back from what you want to do or what you feel like your calling is. You know, I'm a person where one of those weirdos where I've done a lot of different jobs in my life, but the only thing I can remember that I've ever wanted to do was act and be in the entertainment business. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm actively living my dream. You know what I mean? Like I'm actively doing it. So it's cool, you know, but I mean, but still, you know, you still miss certain family dynamics, you know, like every day seeing your kid is a blessing, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, that means that when I chop that up and put the sad music behind it, boy, ooh, boy, boy, that make you know, boy,
I should have been like, man,
you see it already? You see the reel already?
You know those commercials where they're trying to get you to donate to the animals? You know what I'm saying? They're like,
exactly. Just 17 cents a day. Hold on, just
I'm living my
17
dream.
cents a day. You can donate, and you can save one of my children. That's all it takes.
Yo, hold on though. I'm getting some real Malcolm X vibes right now too, yo. Yo, watch out. Let me find out Isaiah Malik Shabazz in this bed. All right, let me stop. I got the wrong thing up and everything. All right, so check it. All right, couple more then we'll go ahead and let you get on the out of here. My man, yo, it's always too much fun with this dude. I don't know when he had this much fun.
You're way too much.
Jeremy, you before spoke about some of your nerd kinks. You know, you like some of the stuff from like Image Comics and stuff like that. One of the things I think that we share, you know, as unapologetically Black nerds, is that we don't have any issues being into those type of things. Does that still hold true today? Are you still one that looks out? Do you watch Marvel shows and movies? Do you look out for DC? And are you a Star Wars guy? I mean, what are you watching right now with recent movies? Did you see Sinners? Are you what's going on with your interest right now?
I'm going to see Sinners today.
Yes.
I was gonna go yesterday, but I could not get a seat. I'm like, damn, they cooking. Boy, they cooking. You know, so I'm gonna go see it today because I gotta see it IMAX.
Right.
And then, you know, on shows, you know, I pretty much kind of scan through a lot of things, but you know, of course, man. But you know what's got me right now?
What?
On Prime, that TV show David, the story of David.
Yo, our boy was talking about that.
Yo,
yeah,
and you know, Vanessa, she's in that show, and she's like Israeli royalty when it comes to acting. Like she's like the Meryl Streep over there, like for real. And she's amazing in it. And I just was like, yo, here it like it's real cool seeing like a show about something like David, where we all, you know, in Christian faith and however your faith believes it or whatever. But I just love the fact that they did it in a way where it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show called Vikings. It's like it's lore, you know. It's done like it's a religion, but it's also it's not heavy-handed on certain things. It's like a show that you can actually watch. And for me, I love it because the story of David is probably I think that's probably the best story for me that's in the Bible is just David's entire story, and it's crazy. So I hope the show kind of goes into it. But yeah, no, that's a good show, man. That's a good show. But yeah, I watch everything, man. You know, but I watch Daredevil every day. Every day.
All right, come on. Flag on the play. You're off the clock, sir. You already got the role.
no,
you know what I'm saying?
But no, I kind of,
Kevin Feige watching everything.
I know,
Boy,
I know, right?
like sleep on Daredevil pajamas and like, so yeah. I like the fact that you're into that. I like the fact that you're going to see Sinners. I'm hating the fact that you didn't have like. I'm mad that you can't just be like, yo, I was just.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me get a seat. But that is what it is. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check out Heist of David. I'm surprised that one of your names isn't David, honestly.
No, what? Because that's my older brother's name. His name is Jason David Earl. And my little brother's name is Philip Michael Earl. My little brother's name is Philip Michael Earl.
No. Now we know.
Esther Nehemiah Earl. Okay, man, they got every single name in there, man.
I did like how you threw like Vikings as you know what I'm saying, like how they reference, you know what I'm saying, like the gods and how they like they have their own twist and lean on it, and it was still beautiful, and it's still like it's still saying to the homage of Vikings and you know what I'm saying, Norse mythology and like their culture. So that I'm not gonna lie, you just hit some like key items for Vince and I to help us decide to watch that show. So I have to say thank you because I'm not gonna lie. Like now I'm more intrigued to like check it out. Before I was like, okay, well in my free time, I'll Bad Tie gave it a thumbs up. It's good. I'll watch it for sure. But like now I'm gonna move it up on my docket because
it's like it's and it's not preachy, It's and the production value is like, yo.
Okay.
And it's brown people, man. I'm like, it ain't they're not casting other folks trying to be, you know what I mean? It's like,
okay. Now you
how's Jesus gonna hide out amongst these people if he was, what I'm saying, blonde hair and blue eyes, man? Come on, man. Okay. Get out of here. But no, it's just a good show. It's a good show and it's done well.
I got one more question.
Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So
I got 7% battery life. So
okay. All right. We gotta make it quick. He's saying that's what he's saying, Vince. We gotta hurry up. Okay. So, you're a director, an actor, a producer. You wear so many different hats. So, and also, I mean, obviously, you teach law enforcement on scene and on set. So that way it's portrayed correctly. If you had the choice, what kind of story and perspective about law enforcement would you like to explore cinematically via television or a film? You know what I'm saying? And like, what would be your ultimate go-to if you had 100% creative? Like, they were like, hey, we're going to give you all the things you want. We're not going to say no. What would you try and portray?
I wrote the pilot already. It's called Markham Tactical. It's a procedural kind of, but anyway, more like a serialized TV show about, small town cops, doing the wrong things for good reasons, and it gets out of hand, and from there it's just a wild ride. So it's like, so something like that where it's fun. I kind of like the idea of telling police stories, but there's a lot of funny stuff that happens, man. There's a lot of comedy that happens within the stories. So, something, or you know what? Somebody pitched something to me, which was hilarious because I was always acting while I was the police. So somebody was like, it'll be a funny show, a little 30-minute comedy about a cop who's a cop regular day, but who goes on auditions and is trying to be an actor. I probably would do that because I think that would be hilarious.
That would be
that's actually a really good idea. That is has that been done before? I don't think I've.
No,
it hasn't. Like you out fighting.
The closest thing they did was this movie with Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, right, and Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Called Showtime.
But it was a little different because he wasn't an actual cop. He was an actor.
This is would be like the story of my life. Basically, I'm a cop, narcotics guy, whatever, and I'm doing auditions and trying to be in TV shows at the same time. You know what I mean?
That is brilliant, yo, because I really want to see the scene acted out where he's like, click. He's like, hey, hold on, man. Didn't I just see you kill White Tiger? You gonna lock me up for 3 ounces, and I just saw you kill a vigilante in Hell's Kitchen. It's like, man, that ain't real. These handcuffs real. I want to see like that kind of thing. Like I could see it. I can see it. Let's do it.
Man. I think it'd be a good idea, but hopefully these guys will start buying content. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Okay. Well, I'm curious, guys, because he did just say that he had a pilot. Did you hear that?
He did. He did have a pilot.
I mean, that means he's got a project already in his mind.
Right.
That if
It's
the
going
right
to
person hears about it,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, then he could probably
100%.
I mean, because there's so many different. There's Amazon. There's
HBO,
HBO Max. There's Netflix.
You know
there's
He should-
Tubi. You know,
he should
there's
do the
YouTube.
He should do the Tyler Perry thing.
Tyler Perry. Yo, if he was on Tyler Perry, would he be the villain or would I don't know. Nah, he would be the good guy. Like in the beginning of the movie, he's like a landscape artist, but by the end he gets saved and he end up
A landscape artist. That's where you're gonna
and he donates all his earnings to charity. He's poor, but he's handsome. And he doesn't put his hands on women, unlike the dark-skinned man at the beginning who got all the money and is cheating. You know how Tyler Perry get down. This might be classic Tyler Perry, not new Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry's is getting a little like, I'm not gonna lie, like his is more interesting now. Like it's getting like, yeah, like that Beauty in Black series, yo, that shit is raw. It is raw.
Oh, he's back. He's back. I think he's back. Yo, he's back. Hold on. Let's get Jeremy back in here. All right, yeah, Jeremy. I think we just casted you as the villain in the Tyler Perry movie on accident. I'm sorry, we didn't mean to. And probably not the villain, not the villain. You're the good guy. You end up. You're the hero. You're the hero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in a Tyler Perry, I don't know what that means, you know, but Tyler Perry, we will still love to work with you or whoever, sir. You know,
right.
But yeah. Before we let you go, I think either you were saying something. Oh, this is all I gotta say. This is all I want to know from you, sir. So how, before you go, since you happen to be flexing some guns on us, how does one get this ripped if they wanted to? Like, how is it creatine? Are we talking some sort of juice? What do we have to do? What does one have to do to get the body and the physique of an Officer Cole North? Because I'm trying to get on the Instagram page a workout plan. But oh man, yeah. I mean, bro, you're in good shape, man. Just talk to a geek like me with a bird chest how to get some muscles.
Well, I had muscles. I had like that. I think we're watching actual footage of me tearing my shoulder.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think.
Is that
real? Yeah. I tore both my shoulders, and they're still tore. I gotta have a surgery probably a little bit later. But no, it was I was training just training, and then it's funny because if you watch the show, here's a fun fact. If you watch the show and this episode where you see me and then you see me again, I'm a lot thinner, a lot smaller. I was in between the strike and everything. I had basically I had ended up with like a kidney infection, and literally because that accompanied with my shoulder, I lost a ton of weight. And now I'm in the process back in the gym, like, trying to tear it back up and everything else. And as I, prepare to get these shoulder surgeries. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm trying to get back there. Trust me, that's me like, realizing or expecting or think, I don't know what the hell's going through my head. You know what I'm saying? That's like a breakup workout. Like that guy,
he's like, come on.
He put it on the gram. Legs fully spread. This is an advertisement. Yeah, man. He going for that iRobot sequel, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, man.
But I'll be back there. You know what I mean? I've always been fit, man, for the most part. I try to, even now, man, I just try to eat right and do the best I can. Like they say, man, abs are made in the kitchen, man, for real. And what you put in your body. But no, man, I'm glad y'all noticed that. Yeah, that's why we do it.
Yeah, definitely the regimen is working, friend, and so is everything else that you're doing. We won't hold you any longer. We appreciate your time. I am so happy that you made it not only through the season, but possibly I'm just gonna speak it into existence. Into season 2, it's gonna happen. There's a reason why he wasn't killed off yet. They could have. They did it with Foggy. They did it with everybody else. There's a reason why there was an ambiguous, mysterious explosion, okay? And there's a reason why Daredevil himself defending him was like, no, it's not what I want to do. What, Red? Red, you want to defend him too, Red? What about this one, Red? So I just say that to say we look forward to seeing you again in season 2, and hopefully in cons and other things, and many things to come. And thanks as well for giving your shout out like you did last time. I mean, if you want to do another one, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's not that the video's crisp, that's cool too, you know, but I ain't, you know, I ain't saying nothing, just to throw that out there. I mean, you know, no pressure, you know.
I'm always down. What y'all ready to do another shout out to you guys?
Yeah, sure, man. If you don't mind, New Blurred Order. Bing! There it is right there.
New Blurred Order. All right. Let me know when y'all ready.
Whenever. It's on you now, sir.
All right, yo, I'm checking in out here with the New Blurred Order. This is one of the greatest podcasts, and you know what? Fuck that. These guys are fucking awesome. They my niggas to the end of time. You probably can't.
That's the new.
That shit'll get me fired in no time.
We'll drop that after season 2. Okay, we'll wait, man.
Don't worry.
I'm back. Let's do another.
Oh, okay. All right.
Here we go. Hey, yo, chilling out here on Blurred Order. Nah, I don't like that one either. You know what? There's gonna be some great like snippets. You guys are gonna edit this together because I keep fucking up.
Yeah, I'm already.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's go.
Hey, yo, I'm chilling out here with the New Blurred Order, man. Always talking the greatest things. They make us look good. I love them to death. Y'all tune in all the time.
Did he just call us the Blue Port?
Wait, did I mess up? I said I didn't say Blurred Order. What did I say?
You said blurb. You said blurb.
God damn it!
You said the Blue Port.
I'm like, shit, the blue blurb. Man, we out here with the curb burb. Burb is the word.
All right, hold on. Let me do it like this. Let me make it easy for you right here. Hold on. And this is yo. I still like that first one though. I ain't gonna lie. Here you go.
Hey man, that's the one, man. That's the one. I ain't tripping.
Is that the one? Is it? Hey,
I ain't tripping.
Hey, if that's what you say, hey, if you say it's the one, I need to do one more because I feel like you ain't comfortable with it. Let's do this one more.
This shit is all good. But here we go. Okay. Blurred Order. There we go. Hey, y'all. Jeremy Earl here, man. Chilling on the Blurred Order. Having the funnest time of my life, man. These guys are some of the best. Peace and love. Keep it greasy.
Hey, that's all we talking about right there, man. Appreciate you, Mr. Earl. All right, well, for everybody who tuned in to this episode, thank you very much. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment. If you have not already, make sure you also go and hit the links on the YouTube. I'm your boy, The Real. Before you head all the way out, I did want to chime in and say appreciate everybody who did stay the whole time. Hallelujah. Yes, we did have a real show. And yes, due to Mother's Day and some other things going on, we went in here. Definitely shout out the homie Jeremy Isaiah Earl for coming in and doing his thug thizzle with us. Dare to say, I feel like he had a good time with us too. So, man, hopefully he pulled back on up, man, because that was dope. Y'all remember him, right, when he was doing the big things and all of that. So, yeah, man. And also, just a quick announcement for next week for those of you all who do follow us, hopefully even more often than not. Want to make sure you all know we will be having another guest on. No, unfortunately, we won't be having Jeremy Isaiah Earl back this week, but we do have two lovely young ladies that have a podcast called The Pink Riot, which they have every Thursday night. Two lovely young black ladies in the New York City life. That one of them I think works or has a blurred library. It's like a whole book of it's shit. I'm just really looking forward to listening to what these young ladies have experienced in life and what it is that they're into. They will be on our show. At least they're scheduled to be on our show next week, pending no issues or anything like that. We look forward to speak with them. And also, shoot, if you listening right now and you got some time on Thursday, pull up to their thing. Tell them you're looking forward to them pulling up on the New Blurred Order. Shout out to everybody who did follow along on Harmony, Mike, Gothic, everybody. I see y'all, Lisa, Mike, Maria. Yeah, man, it's always good to have everybody. But yes, of course, be your authentic self. If you ain't being yourself, you being fake. And like we always say, if you a geek, just like my homeboy Jeremy Isaiah Earl is, evidently, after we learned that he loves things like Icon and Image Comics. Go ahead, let that good old geek flag fly. We back next week, y'all. Appreciate you. Deuces. And I'm probably going to air this for the last time since he did give us the clearance. So this exclusive outro is probably the only time you'll ever see this. Hopefully you enjoy. See you next week.
This is one of the greatest podcasts, and you know what? Fuck that. These guys are fucking awesome, and my niggas to the end of time.